So guys, I just wanted to do a really quick video in which I share my thoughts on Kanye West's appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast. I watched that last night and I just felt like, holy smokes, I just have to talk about this. Unfortunately, obviously, I can't show you any footage of it. You have to go and check it out yourself. It's really worth the watch for many reasons. And I have to say, before I get into it, in terms of the music, I don't mind Kanye West. I think he's got quite a few tunes. He's a good producer. All the stuff that he did with Jay-Z and stuff, really good music. And also I saw his live show. I wasn't there, but I saw a recording of his live show at Glastonbury. So he does this show in front of, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000 people. And it's just Kanye on stage. There's no band, there's no DJ, there's no dancers, no background singers. It's just one man on stage with lights above him going up and down. It was epic, man. And I saw that show and I was like, okay, dude, you got my respect, man. Because when it was announced that Kanye is gonna headline Glastonbury, people freaked out. People were like, holy smokes, what has someone like Kanye to do with Glastonbury, right? It's a rock festival. People wanted other bands to headline. So he already has the crowds against him. In a way, right? So he goes out to this crowd that protested. There was a petition against Kanye headlining Glastonbury, and he goes out alone on that stage and rips a killer show. I gotta say, man, it was a great show. So Kanye does have my respect. I'm not a Kanye hater. But that interview with Joe Rogan, we've seen already some of its kind of outbreaks on Twitter, where he just goes on Twitter rambles, and it makes no sense what he says. It's just tweet after tweet after tweet. There were stories in the past that he's on medication for being bipolar, and he laid off the medication because he felt it kind of reduces or limits his creativity. He goes into that in the Joe Rogan podcast as well. But point is, he does have that history of being diagnosed as bipolar. Again, I don't know. That's just a diagnosis that's confirmed. But in this interview, he's just like, okay, guys, we need a leader. I'm running for president. Yeah, this country needs a leader. And I've always kind of seen myself as the leader of the free world. And I'm just standing there like, oh God, man. It's a little bit similar to what we spoke about in those Rooster Teeth videos, which is a story of what success does to you. Now, I don't know if it's the success that Kanye turned him into this person, or if it's other external factors, or if he literally just is suffering from mental illness, which is a very serious issue. And I absolutely don't want to ridicule that or make fun of that. But someone who steps up and says, I always felt like I'm kind of the leader of the free world, that indicates a few things. I mean, I don't disagree on all his points. For example, he said he sees the current situation around the world with the disease and everything as a chance. There's a chance for big change where we can say, hey, let's evaluate what do we actually need, what do we actually not need. And it would probably be helpful to have a leader, someone who facilitates that change and who has a big vision. I'm just not sure that Kanye is the right person for that. Because if you look what he's talking about, I mean, sometimes you see highly intellectual people talking, and I mean, I can't follow what they say. But when you see Kanye rambling on in monologues that go over 15 minutes, I checked out after 2-3 minutes because to me it makes no sense. Well, maybe the man is just a genius and it's way above my pay grade, intellectually, I mean. But to be honest, if you ask me for my opinion, it doesn't look like someone who's an extreme genius to me. Not to say that Kanye is not a musical genius, that he's not a very, very, very talented artist and producer. But at the same time, he seems to really have delusions, the way he speaks about religion scared me. I mean, look, dude, I've met people that are Christian, I've met people that are Muslim, and religion does a lot for them to better their lives, to be better people, to respect their family and all that. Religion can be a great facilitator of good people in some cases. But the way he talked about it, it was fanatic, right? He talked about making 100,000 people sing for God in a stadium. And while that probably would sound epic, this type of thinking is just he talked a lot about understanding God and understanding what God wants from him, indicating that he's kind of in contact with God, It took weird shapes, and it clearly had megalomaniac tendencies. You just can't deny that. Someone who calls himself a genius clearly falls into that gap of being slightly megalomaniac and overestimating your own value or importance or something. And what I also found interesting was Joe Rogan's behavior in this podcast, right? Because normally, Joe Rogan goes all in. He confronts people. He's always respectful, but he goes all in. He's asking potentially the hard questions to anyone, even people like Mike Tyson, right? But in this particular case, with Kanye sitting there, oh man, you could feel Rogan was a bit oh yeah, no, man, I think you're a genius. It's he does not want to disgruntle him, because I think he's a guy that's if you say the wrong thing and you don't talk rightly how it is working in his mind about his mental disorders, if you want to call it that, without accusing him of anything, then I think he would get very upset. If you confront him, if you say, listen, Kanye, man, all the stuff you just said, it makes no sense, bro. It's like some of it makes sense. You can take chunks out, and I guess, but it doesn't link. It doesn't work. So maybe let's take a few steps back, right? And analyze it again. Let's talk about the same thing. Break it down so everybody can understand it. Rogan didn't do that, right? He just went with it. He was like, oh, that's so smart. Oh, you're smart. Oh, I think you're a genius. I think that's a great plan. Kanye, that's so good. I think you're doing all the right things. Which is fair as well. He's probably a sensitive interview partner, so I get why Rogan is doing it. I'm not saying I would go out and ask Kanye all the hard questions. But I found it an extremely interesting interview, and since Kanye doesn't do these long interviews ever, I've never seen such a long interview with him. I might have just missed it. But it was just really like an interesting window in this guy's mind. I can't say I really enjoyed it because, he's very popular. People like him running for president, I'm not saying he doesn't stand a chance. Do you know what I mean? And that's scary, man. You don't want a guy like that running a country with 200-something million people. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Anyway, guys, don't want to get political here. What are your thoughts on this? Did you enjoy the interview? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Did you maybe think that everything that Kanye said made perfect sense? Maybe you got it all. I'm just stupid. I don't know. For me, it was very rambly. It was odd. But leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'd appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Smash subscribe, smash the like, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Bye.